Doors of its international symposium of left parties open to a multitude of formations. NUMSA announced that it will be holding the symposium this weekend in Benoni on Gauteng's East Rand. The meeting is in line with resolutions taken at its special National Congress in December last year. The resolutions included an establishment of a united front. NUMSA has invited guests from across the globe. It has also extended an invitation to members of the Tripartite Alliance, as well as other political parties, the EFF, ZAPO and the PAC, amongst others.
The International Symposium provides an opportunity and space for NUMSA and the invited individuals, formations, to share lessons and learn from each other's past and present experiences on the successes and failures of left parties or movements in power to drive a socialist society. We remain convinced that the only viable solution for humanity lies within socialism.
Now, for more on the story, we are joined in studio by NUMSA President Andrew Chirwa. Good to have you. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Now, how different is this movement going to be to what we already have?
Look, you would remember that last year towards December, we've made a detailed analysis of the state of the working class in the country for the past 20 years. And unfortunately, we have come to a better conclusion and reality that the state of the working class is deteriorating. You've got stacked poverty, levels of poverty, unemployment, which is even worse than pre-1994. When inequality, which is even worse than, again, pre-1994, when discrimination was legislated. You know, all those assessments concluded one thing, that indeed the state of the working class will continue to deteriorate unless we do something different.
Okay.
All what has been the response since then of our own government has been more liberal policies. There have not been any fundamental change. When you look at the radical program that we've been told about, when you look deeper, what is the radical program? It's nothing else but a right-wing agenda, which is now packaged from GAIR, which is now National Development Plan, which we're convinced and we're very clear that it shall not deliver a new path for South Africa. It shall not deliver a South Africa where profit is being oppressed, of course, and humanity is prioritized. It shall not deliver any equal society. That's the reality where we are. And for that reason, we have said that we think that there's a need for us to begin a process of launching a revolution which is about nothing else but fundamental change, because we are convinced that unless if we fight against capitalist system in this country, the poor people and the vulnerable people will continue to be where they are. And in 2030, the vision that we speak about, the reality is that the working class and poor people will be at a much more worse situation than where they are today.
Okay.
And to that effect, therefore, we have resolved last year in December that we're going out, we're going to engage, we're going to look at various experiences in different countries where there's been experience of working class formation, taking responsibility of their own future, taking responsibility of their own revolution. To that effect, we've got guests from, obviously, Latin America, where they've been experimenting in Bolivia, you've got Venezuela, we've got guests from Europe, we've got guests from Asia, we've got guests from Africa. All of this so we can get an
international perspective. I want to talk about a local perspective, though, in terms of the political parties that are involved. You've invited ZAPO, the PAC, EFF, just to name a few. Does this mean that the movement no longer enjoys that tripartite alliance that, say, COSATU enjoys?
Look, we have invited organizations, firstly, on the basis of those organizations having some of the policies, not all, some policies which we think that they look alike some of the positions that we're going to push as NUMSA, in particular those who are claiming to represent left alternatives in the country. You'd know that various organizations have got different positions on land, on energy. There are various positions. We've looked at those organizations, your PAC, you know PAC, their whole question about land. We've looked at the ANC as well. We've looked at the EFF. We've looked at the at the moment, except the ANC, we have looked at AZAPO, all those organizations who claim that they are disciplined forces of the left, who claim that they represent an agenda that is against capital. We have said to them, come, let's debate as to what is best for South Africa. What do we need to do moving forward? We have said to organizations like the South African Communist Party that we think that is important to South African Communist Party as well to come and join us, because in this country we know that we are told that the South African Communist Party, which is a vanguard of the working class. And to that effect, we've said that we think that as we experiment, as we explore, we need everybody. We're not excluding anyone. You're absolutely correct that
you're including everybody involved in this.
Who cares about an alternative South Africa?
Is this the start of another political party, another opposition party? Very quickly, is this the start? Look,
very quickly on that question, the Congress in December have said to us that we need to explore an alternative in this country. We are exploring. There are various political parties in this country. Some have been formed recently. There are many of them. We're not about electoral platform, just take over, continue with the same agenda. We are about a fundamental change. We think that if there's to be change in this country, that change must be a change in the system as well. If that change means that there must be a movement for socialism, movement and convergence of organization who are committed in theory and practice to champion a different agenda against capital that exploits the working class, we think that that possibility should happen if there's a basis to do that.
So yes, this could be the start of another political party.
Look, that's a question that will be answered through assessment, through research work that we're doing now. And of course, in next year in February, we've got a conference on socialism until March. Until March next year, that is when we'll be able to answer that question, that indeed there is now a basis for a movement for socialism. It's not about just a political party. It's about a movement that is anti-capitalist in this country to champion a genuine alternative agenda.
There's going to be a movement against me if I don't wrap this, because I got to get some sports news. But thank you. Thanks for talking to us. NUMSA President Andrew Chirwa talking to us about what's about to unfold. National Union of Metalworkers opening the doors to the International Symposium of Left Parties. So this is going to be quite an interesting development that's taking place. All right, Valen, sorry. Sports news, it's over to you.